Hammer Time Custom Q just hit the inventory here at Crossroad Q's. Special thanks to our good friend Mr. Johnathan Gilbert, Johnathan Hammer Gilbert, hence the Hammer Time Custom Q's. You guys have recently seen us posting some of Jonathan's work. We are very grateful to now be an official dealer of Jonathan's Q's. Jonathan's not a novice. He's been at it for a while. He actually is from North Central Pennsylvania. He does all of the work on his Q's in his one-man shop up there in a rural part of Pennsylvania. I believe he lives on the side of a mountain, from what he says. Sounds very serene not to have to be around all those people, and he can put his focus and attention on creating these beautiful Q's. Johnathan started playing pool at the age of 12 years old. Little background on the Q maker. He comes from now 4 generations, including himself, 4 generations of carpenters. So he's been involved in woodworking for his entire life, and it definitely shows. You know, a lot of these Q makers, the majority of them, have backgrounds in woodworking and cabinet making and different types of craftsmanship that lead them, oftentimes, the majority of the times, because of their love for the game that we all love to play, the game of pool, coupled with all of that woodworking background. And then all of a sudden you've got a Q maker. So Johnathan is a great guy, really good pool player. Had the privilege of meeting him. He drove all the way up to the Super Billiards Expo to meet me. And we are also going to be showing his line of jump cues. He's got some really neat jump cues. We've only got one of them in stock, but boy, oh boy, oh boy, I love the long Tulipwood points in this cue. Johnathan actually apprenticed for 12 years before he started making his own cues. He worked under the tutelage of Mr. Barry Moore from South Carolina, and Johnathan has been on his own now for the last 4 years, doing a really, really, really good job. You guys know that we do not sell any cues that are subpar here. This man was so proud of his work that he drove very long distance up to the Super Billiards Expo to give us the privilege of being his online dealer, and we are excited. Look at the long Tulipwood points on this. Very long, very sharp Tulipwood points, and then you have butterflies in between each point. All the at the joint here, the rings, that is natural material, by the way, so there's no overseas shipping. You've got a natural material ferrule and the rings at the bottom. So you've got Tulipwood. The forearm of this is roasted maple, so that is roasted birdseye maple. Very nice, kind of has that Kielwood look to it, as you can see. So it's got the roasted maple forearm, very long and straight Tulipwood points. So you've got 4 points, and then you also have, 3 Tulipwood points and 3 butterflies. The butt itself is 29.5, and then you have a 30-inch custom Kielwood shaft. That's a Mori tip on that. I love how he does the natural material, again, is the white right there with the Tulipwood at the joint connection on the shaft, and also, of course, on the butt of the Q. That is a 3/8 Southwest style. We like to call it the Big Pin. Very nice wrapless Q. This Q is fully cored. Fully cored. There is no A-joint connection here. A lot of times the Q makers do it that way because it pretty much guarantees that the Q is not going to warp. Of course, if you put it in severe weather conditions, anything can happen. But what I mean is, a lot of times when wood moves or Qs move or they get off of balance or they come out of position, it's because of that A-joint connection. That doesn't say that those are bad, because the majority of Qs are going to have the A-joint. But in any event, this Q is fully cored. It's going to have a nice, consistent, solid hit to it. You notice at the bottom here, again, he has 2 all-natural white rings, and then you've got the roasted maple, the natural, and then you've got the Tulipwood. Tulipwood is a particular species of wood that is becoming very, very, very hard to get. I love his use of Tulipwood here going into the roasted maple. All of that, aesthetics aside, this Q is definitely set up to be a player. Slightly thinner handle, 15.8 ounce on the butt. You've got a really nice dark roasted Kielwood shaft. The Kielwood shaft is cut at about 12.8 on the millimeter. The total length of the Q and the shaft, again, is 59.5, so 30 inches on the shaft. Butt weight is 15.8 and the shaft is 3.2. Hammer Time Custom Q. This is a lot of Q with a lot of work, with some really good wood and that high performance shaft, priced below $1,600. Get it while it's hot. I love the butterflies on this as well too. Hammer Time Custom Q, available at crossroadcues.com.